Hey everyone! Nikki, say hi! Maxim is here as well. We're going to one of the big box stores. We need to buy some compost. Because my plan for today is to plant 4 new hydrangeas. I have some Nemesia, I have some Yarrow, and also I need to fertilize all of the plants in my garden. The roses have finished their first flush of blooms. Maxi? But first we need to get some lunch because I am starving.
Shooting and eating.
Solve the Rubik's Cube.
What?
Scramble it and then solve it.
Okay. This is a collaboration. You know that. Okay. Thank you. I wish this video gets sponsored by the Cubicle.
Yeah.
Comment down below if I did good.
And I am back in my garden. It is the next day. Turns out I can never finish a video in one day, but it doesn't matter. I'm in my garden and I'm gonna be planting. I have 4 hydrangeas. I have some Nemesia, I have Yarrow, and I definitely need to fertilize my plants. And one of my hydrangeas needs some iron, so we're gonna give it that as well. And I think that first I'm going to plant the Nemesia in the pots that are on the both sides of my front entrance of the house, where I planted Salvia. If you've seen my video, it was probably from late April, maybe, I'm not sure, but or May. I planted 2 pots with Salvia. It was big blue bicolor, and to be honest, it just looks a little bit boring. It looks a little bit like meh. I will show you in a minute. The buddleia has grown tremendously. You won't believe it how big it has become. It is getting ready to bloom, so maybe in a couple of weeks or so we're gonna have beautiful blooms. But I feel like the salvia is a bit boring, so my my initial plan was to actually remove the salvia from the pots and plant Nemesia. Then I just felt sorry for the salvia. It looks really, I mean, it is pretty. It is pretty, it is just not, it doesn't have the wow effect that I anticipate from the pots that are in front of my entrance. So I think that I will plant Nemesia on one side of the pot and I will leave the Salvia on the other side of the pot. The big question is how many plants I want to plant, because when I ordered the Nemesia, let me show you. So this is the Nemesia, and when I ordered it, I thought it is going to be much more compact. I thought it's going to be much smaller, and it is not. It has grown quite a lot, and it is quite big, and even the pots are a bit bigger than I anticipated. So I don't know if I will be able to tuck in 3 plants in a pot, which was my initial plan. I really hope you don't get seasick because my phone is moving left and right because of the wind. But yeah, we're gonna figure it out as we go. I really hope I can tuck in 3 plants in every pot. And also, I have another pot that I haven't shown you yet. It is, I have some lavender from last year. It just doesn't look good. It doesn't grow the way that I want it to grow. So we're gonna remove it completely, and we're gonna plant a yarrow. This is the yarrow that I got. It has 3 colors in one pot, and of course I bought it first and then I did my research, so it turned out it's gonna grow quite high, but we'll see how it's gonna grow in a pot. Maybe it's gonna stay a bit more compact. So let me show you the pots first, and then I'm gonna move them in the garden and plant the plants here because I really don't want to spill any soil on the front of my house. These are the pots that we planted, and can you believe how big the budlias are, and the salvia as well, but the budlia is really impressive, especially this one. This one receives a little bit more, let me get rid of my shadow. This one receives a little bit more sunlight, and as I've shown you before, it has a little bit of damage. It arrived like that from the nursery, but it is only on, I don't know, 10-15 leaves. Everything else is new growth, and you can see it already has formed buds. It is going to bloom soon. It is really, really stunning, and I think it definitely likes it here. The pot is quite big, so it provides enough moisture. And this is the other budlia. Let's talk about the salvia. As you can see, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad at all, and I just can't justify removing it from the pots. However, the lavender looks horrible. This is gonna go, but we'll try to squeeze in a couple of Nemesia here in the pot. As you can see, salvia has grown a little bit lopsided because of the wall, so it gives us actually pretty decent space to plant something here. I'm not sure that the colors of the Nemesia really look good with the colors of the salvia, because the salvia is a bit more warm toned, even though it is not a warm purple, but compared to the almost blue of the Nemesia, I don't know how it's gonna look. Let's see, maybe I'll find another plant with more blooms. Well, I don't think it's too bad. We'll see. I really wish the pots of the Nemesia were much smaller. I don't think I can squeeze in 3 of them. Definitely not. Yeah, we'll have to put 2. I don't think that 3 will be possible without compromising the whole root system of the salvia, which is something we don't want at this point. Maybe at one point we'll change our mind. I'm not convinced that I'm doing a good job at the moment, just because the pots are quite full, the salvia is big, but I'm gonna take the risk. Nemesia is also known as summer snapdragon, and the blooms really look like tiny snapdragons. This variety is called Burgundy Bicolor, and I've heard that the Nemesia is really fragrant. Mine smells like herbs. It doesn't smell like flower, it doesn't smell like vanilla, it smells like herbs. It has a nice earthy scent, but nothing too spectacular. Well, I guess that now I'm gonna put the two Nemesia left together with the Yarrow. I overdid it. If you can't tell, let me tell you, I overdid it. These are too many plants. But it is what it is, I guess. These are gonna be my experimental pots. We won't have high expectations. Oh, I just love the scent of the Yarrow. It smells like herbs as well, but probably we have it in our fields, like in the nature, because to me it smells like childhood. I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be honest, I don't think I did a good job, especially when it comes to color coordination. I love that the pots are full, especially these with the salvia, but I don't think that the colors really match, because this purple and that purple are quite different, even though on camera they look really similar. But in real life, this has like an ashy undertone, while this is just uh, pink, not pinkish, but bluish purple. This definitely has an ashy undertone. Let's hope that in front of the wall that is pretty plain, these are gonna look much better. So let's move them and see. I don't think it's too bad. What do you think? Just let me know in the comments below. How do you find these containers? It is not as bad as I thought it's gonna be. Probably it's gonna lean towards the sunlight, so it's gonna change direction and it's gonna stand more upright. But I think it is not as bad. And imagine when this starts blooming in beautiful bright cerise color, this is gonna look much better. After the questionable success of our first project, let's continue with the second one, which is going to be planting for hydrangeas. And if you remember recently, I made some space in my garden, I extended my flower bed and I added this little part right here where I planted monarda on the front border, some buddleia, delphinium, and I left some space for hydrangeas. My first pick would be Bobo hydrangea because I have one and these were gonna be standing next to it, so it was gonna blend in and it was gonna create this beautiful hedge of 5 Bobo hydrangeas, but I just couldn't find any. Then I thought I'm gonna plant some Little Hottie hydrangeas and I couldn't find any again. So my third pick was Skyfall hydrangea. This variety stays more on the compact side, so it gets around 120 centimeters tall, which is around 4 feet, and it is around 70 centimeters in width, which is probably around a little bit above 2 feet. Which is something I really needed because I need some space behind my flower bed so that the gardener has enough space to go and trim the hedge that you see behind me once or twice a year. I couldn't afford to plant some huge like Annabelles or limelights because they grow really, really big, not only tall but also wide, and I would have many problems in the future. That's why I decided a little bit more compact hydrangea, but it is beautiful nonetheless. The flowers are cone-shaped, they are white, really fluffy, star-shaped little flowers form big flower bloom that looks a little bit like hyacinth. Really beautiful. Considering the size of the branches, I can tell that this plant is quite young. It is not very mature. The branches are really thin, so we are not gonna expect a really spectacular blooming show this season. But in a year or two, we'll see the plant mature, hopefully, and it's gonna put this beautiful blooming show for us. Let's space them properly in the flower bed and let's put them in the ground. Almost. I know that I probably have told you before, but I live in a really old city which is called Plovdiv. And every time I dig some holes, I hope I find something like really old and precious, but with no success. I am done with the hydrangeas. They're planted. I need to water them, of course. I applied some compost and I put them 80 centimeters apart. I measured for the first that I measured was from the Bobo hydrangea, so that there is some consistency. I think that with time Bobo will get a bit bigger, but I think 80 centimeters is absolutely fine. They're going to grow into each other and they're going to form a hedge, and I think it's going to be really pretty. I really wanted to fertilize my roses this evening, and I need to apply some iron to this Bobo hydrangea. Let me show you. Look at the leaves. They're not only yellow, but they have this dark green veining, which is a sure sign that the plant is iron deficient. And it's interesting because, oh, this one shows a little bit of chlorosis as well. I haven't noticed till now, to be honest. And I was gonna say it's interesting because none of the other hydrangeas show any signs of chlorosis, but this one actually do. So I guess I'm gonna apply chelated iron to all of my hydrangeas. This one shows a little bit as well. This a little bit. We had a very wet spring, so maybe the rain has washed out a lot of the nutrients in the soil. So I'm gonna apply chelated iron to my hydrangeas and I'm gonna fertilize my roses. Let me show you with what. So what I'm gonna do now is first I'm gonna water all the hydrangeas and pots that I've planted because it is really hot. The soil is quite dry and it's been quite a long process, so they definitely need some water at this moment. Then I'm gonna apply chelated iron to my hydrangeas. I'm not gonna speak in depth about it because I probably have a couple of videos about it. And then I'm gonna apply some fertilizer to my roses, which seem to be quite hungry. They're completely done with their first flush of blooms. And I've applied some slow release fertilizer, like granulated one from David Austin, probably in March. So they definitely need a little bit of boost. I'm gonna give it to them. And what I'm gonna use is this Rose Focus fertilizer. It is a liquid fertilizer. It contains seaweed, and I've used it last summer. It seemed to be quite good, and I have some left, and I'm gonna use it today. I usually, for one watering can, which is around 9 liters, I divided between two plants. So this is the, oh, sorry, there are so many mosquitoes again. So this is the way that I dose the fertilizer. Half watering can, which is around 4 or 5 liters per plant. I just can't believe that I'm done. But I'm so happy I managed to do everything I planned for today. But I'm also a little bit exhausted and very thirsty, so I'm going inside. That was it for today's video. Thank you for spending some time with me in my garden, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!